Rockinitis.
And do you like John Tanner?
I like him, and I'm not a big fan.
Because John is a precursor to your show in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I have a great deal of respect and.
Well, I like John, and the last time I talked to him, we had a really good conversation, and I thought he's actually a really cool guy.
Hey, Mike.
You know? Yes.
Good to go.
Can we get back to ones now? Quiet on the set. We're
Okay.
ready to shoot in less than 30 seconds.
Okay. Are we happening?
We're rolling.
Hi, cats and kittens. Welcome to Rockinitis. This time out on the show, we're going to be doing a kind of a Vancouver punk show. Okay, now here's a picture of you back in the heyday.
Okay, this is 1979, and Bev Davies took this. Another photograph that should be a photographer who should be noted. This was taken during a Ramones interview, which was at the Old Century Plaza Hotel on Burrard Street.
Okay.
And that's in 1979. And the Ramones, of course, visited here twice during that year.
Okay. Highly influential. A lot of people are now trying to make amends for the fact that the punk rock insurgents, or whatever you want to call it,
wasn't accepted at the time?
No, it wasn't accepted at the time. It happened in England. It was in foreign shores, and it wasn't really relevant to us because we're North America and all this kind of stuff. Now they're kind of making amends for the fact that there was a punk thing happening here with the Ramones. So they're trying to put the Ramones on the same level as the Sex Pistols, making it a double-pronged thrust of punk rock. That's my view. It's kind of like
your view.
That's my view.
Yeah, that's your view.
Which is that they're trying to make the Ramones retroactively as important as the Sex Pistols were, by saying that it was happening here all along. It's just that it didn't get the attention that the Sex Pistols got across the water. So they're basically saying that the Ramones were just as important, and certainly when you can see groups like the Modernettes, you know, with Mary Armstrong or something. I mean, she looks like Joey Ramone when she plays the bass, you know, like that kind of stuff. So they're trying to say that the Ramones were equally as important as the Sex Pistols.
Well, I think to some degree in our generation, I mean, the Ramones affected us more because they came here.
Yes.
You know, the Clash affected us more because they came here. Iggy Pop. I think Iggy Pop was a very big influence on the Vancouver scene because he came here, and that, I mean, it makes a difference if you've got a point of contact, you know, into any market. What are we looking at now?
No, we're trying to find the Subhumans, which I got to kind of. I've got to.
Should we talk about the Subhumans while you're rummaging through
I've got to rummage.
box?
I've got to. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, here, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Is that the 4-song EP?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about the fact that a lot of when we went past doing singles on the 45 singles, right? The next thing was the 4-song EP. And again, I don't get into it in the film, but I think that it'd be really worth noting that Bob Rock and Ron Obvious, Bob Rock, the famous producer, and Ron Obvious at Little Mountain Sound during the midnight hours engineered and produced some of the seminal EPs of the era. This happens to be one of them.
Now, what sort of gets me is, in the old days, I'm talking 50s, 60s, when Vancouver groups would release product, it was always on a single, always on a 45. Once in a blue moon, they'd get to do an album. In the late 70s, 80s, it was always an EP, a 12-inch EP, which is kind of like a mini album on the way to becoming a full-blown album, but beyond a single and not quite an album. And it's very, very common to see groups from that era in Vancouver releasing stuff as an EP. This is one of the absolute great ones by the Subhumans. And the tune is Slave to My Dick.
Okay, Slave to My Dick, in close contention with Disco Sucks and the other song which became our anthem, which is F.U. and Hawaii. Those 4 songs.
Very diplomatically put.
Well, I know you can't use that word. We did. We are allowed to use it. Different network.
I mean, we all use it in everyday conversation.
No, but we
here.
We were allowed to use it on a different network. But Slave to My Dick is it's a great song. Christy Clark's favorite piece of vinyl. She might be running for Premier of British Columbia. She went on CFMI and said it was...
Does she want that no one know, that her favorite song is Slave to My Dick?
I don't know. But it's that's great. And let's talk about the Subhumans, because they were, often overshadowed or compared with DOA during the day, because they were the 2 sort of hardcore bands or whatever, and both really different. I mean, DOA was a very explosive live act, and the Subhumans were known more for their songwriting. And I think that they had 3 great songwriters. We talk about it in the film, but their work is really standing the test of time quite well. It really is. I think it's getting better. I think it's getting better over time.
Yeah. Now this picture here. Now this guy is...
That's Brian Goebel.
Okay, Brian Goebel. He's the lead singer in the Subhumans. Now,
that's Calla and...
yeah, that's his wife. Oh, this is his wife here.
His friend.
Oh, it's a friend. Oh, it's like his partner?
Your partner, yeah.
Okay, his partner. Okay, that's his partner. That's Brian Goebel. And this is Liz James, who did the No Fun City.
Yes, she did, yeah.
Now, if you look closely at the guy in the background, this guy right here.
Oh, it's you.
Who is that guy? That's a bystander.
Who cares?
It's the man behind. It's the man behind the scenes.
Who cares?
Anyway, that's at a deal that was at the rickshaw.
That's rickshaw.
Yeah, and I just happened to be standing there when the photo was taken.
That's great.
Anyway, nice photo. And "Slave to My Dick" is an anthem.
"Slave to My Dick" was written by Jerry Hanna. And Jerry and Brian went to elementary school with Joe Keithley. They all went to elementary school together. And "Slave to My Dick" was one of the first songs that Jerry wrote, which actually got pressed. The other one I'm not allowed to mention.
Why? Because of the song title?
Because of the song title.
Okay.
Which is our
title. You couldn't abbreviate it?
Well, F-U.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, it's a great piece, and they've got lots of great music. It's really hard to pick, what's the best Subhuman song.
When I see the Subhumans, I hear melody, I hear conception, I hear riffs, I hear musicality. Like, I like the Subhumans. I liked them. I actually liked them. And, their conceptual the way that they conceive of a song, and it's so well honed, and they know what their message is, and they go right to it, and they're able to project it in a way that sells, and that's what wins me.
And that is a very subjective thing to say.
Yeah, well,
right. That's your opinion.
This is a personal show.
Yeah,
and,
no, and I think that there is a difference between the two bodies of work, but I don't know. I think DOA is that's an important.
Oh yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Especially worldwide, DOA have definitely made inroads from Vancouver to the rest of the world, and like I totally they get like high marks in my book for that alone, you know. But the Subhumans, I can actually listen to them and enjoy them and go back and listen to them again and enjoy them even more because their songs are so well constructed. Now this song here, the lyrics go, "I put on my clothes that make me look tall. I don't think about it. I don't think at all. I dress high class. It makes me look high paid. You know I do it, baby, because I want to get laid. I'm just a slave to my dick. It really makes me sick. I lie to myself and to my friends too. If I want your girl, I'll lie to you too. I'll play stupid games, do whatever it takes, because I gotta have a ball. And the time's getting late. I'm just a slave to my dick. It really makes me sick." So as a man, I have lived the lyrics to this song a few times in my life.
Okay, but Jerry, who wrote the song, has talked to me directly about the song, and it was meant in a very, very tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic way.
No,
right?
I think it's true. Because I can relate. Anyway, it has a...
And it's all about you.
Of course,
it's all about you.
Of course. Anyway, this song has an absolute killer bass line. It reminds me of Eddie Cochran.
Yeah, it does.
It reminds me of Eddie Cochran.
Yeah.
It's got a killer bass line, and it's perfectly arranged and conceived, and it's beautifully brutal. Slave to my dick.
Come to the cigarettes at last. Peace must come, a thing of the past. The cigarettes have the armies and the guns in their grasp. They're going to destroy us in the trust of their lives. Destroy the world. They fuck me. They're trying to spread the red brigade, telling you you're dreaded by the terrorist flag. They're hanging the noose around our necks by gluing our minds to the buffet. Kill them all. Destroy them.
I love the Subhumans.
The Subhumans, definitely, in my view, the ultimate in Vancouver punk rock, in my view.
Okay. When I was going to school, Vancouver was not
Show a
considered
couple of pictures
cool.
of when you went to school. I want to see you back in the days when you were a DJ on CITR.
Okay.
And,
well, let's look at this thing here.
Okay.
Which you have a story for this.
Well,
You have a story for this.
Okay, now this is an article from the Vancouver Sun. And if you look at the lower right-hand side, there's a picture of Peter Thompson. Now, he was a disc jockey at Co-op Radio, and they took about 20 pictures of me and Peter Thompson. And they took one picture of just Peter Thompson. And I thought, with my luck, the picture that they show in the Vancouver Sun will be just the picture of Peter Thompson alone. That's what they did. So I'm not in the picture, but you are.
But I mean, let's talk about why were we talking about things like radio? I mean, there's radio articles all over here. You know why? Because radio, like it is today, right, was controlled. The only way you could get something on is through payola, right? Everything was controlled, and there was such great music coming out, not only of Vancouver, but there was great music coming out of, I guess, your primary areas of the UK and New York. I mean, such incredible 1979-80 music. And we played it all at CITR, and there wasn't any of that airplay of that music. I mean, you were more inclined to hear sort of more prog rock, sort of Eagles have always been referenced as people when they talk about what were you rebelling against. And it's not that that band was bad, right? It's that there was only that music, right? And it was arena rock, right? Which was not accessible.
What annoyed me so much was, at the time, radio was focused on the superstar format. Then when the new wave
Which,
started,
by the way, it is again today.
Yes,
okay,
but
it is.
they were focused
that
on
hasn't changed.
they were focused on the superstar format, so only the biggies got the airplay and the attention. Then when punk rock happened, that was kind of like, whoa, whoa. They kind of backed right off from it, and they basically didn't want to give it a chance. But then when new wave, or when it evolved into new wave, then they kind of thought, well, actually, the new wave stuff is that actually there's a melody there and there's a riff there. So, but by the time they finally got around to programming new wave, it was over. Basically, the new wave was over by the time Vancouver radio got behind it. But the thing that really annoyed me, when they started playing new wave, they pretended that they'd always been playing it.
Well, of course, but that's all part of...
So they were playing stuff that was out
Selling
4 or
out.
5 years previous, as if they'd always been playing it. That annoyed me, because it's phony. But anyways, they eventually got around to it, and so stuff that was overlooked at the time, that didn't happen at the time, eventually ended up finding its niche, because the radio stations then pretended that they'd always been behind it, which, of course, you and I know they hadn't been. Anyway, your days at CITR, you got some more stuff there, some more pictures?
Well, we showed CITR, Radio Leads the Revolution, but I think what's really interesting to note at the time is that, and this is inspiration to anybody that, you know, believes that you can change things and create a movement. This is actually not me, that's Grant McDonough's brother. Radio Leads the Revolution. I think what's really important about the radio at the time was that we were connected to one of the concert promotion companies, Periscope Concerts, and Periscope brought in, and they've never really been given the credit. I mean, my film doesn't have the time to go into the history of the Quintessence relationship and the Periscope relationship, but Periscope brought in the Ramones and all those other acts. Iggy Pop was really big. The Clash, I mean, all those sort of iconic, we consider those things iconic punk acts. Periscope brought them in, and people at Periscope, Jerry Barrett, who was connected to Quintessence Records and is now the chief operating officer of Live Nation Global, he at the time, and Kathy Cleghorn, they were really important. They were really involved in putting the Vancouver bands on those bills, right, as warm-up acts.
My parents told me to go to school. The teachers told me the golden rule. The rules told me just be cool. I'm not gonna play that fool. Shut up your mouth. Shut up your eyes. Shut down your brain. Don't step out of line. Don't show you're insane. Don't tell me what to do. I don't need you. Don't tell me what to see. You're nothing to me. Dropped out of school, forgot what they said. Positive emotion means negative action. Some kinds of commotion. I love the reaction. Negative thoughts, they clear your head. Eloquent logic, you'd be better off dead. Gorillas are the gorillas, living in an urban zoo. Gorillas are the gorillas, find the work from me and you. I knew from the moment that I looked at your face that you deserved to be spit with face. You lied and you bit like a diseased rat. I knew you were an obstacle in my path. I thought of death, but it was too kind. You must have thought that I was blind. But I wishing you would go eat shit. Out, from a giant garbage pit.
The Subhumans formed in 1978, and the first gig they ever played at was an anti-Canada Day celebration on July 1st, Canada Day. And this is the cover of the first full-length album by the Subhumans, and it was the thing back then for punk rock groups to give themselves each cartoon names. So this guy here, standing up on a BC Hydro bus, is Brian Goebel, otherwise known as Wimpy Roy. Jerry Hanna became Jerry Useless on bass. On your left, over here, is Mike Graham on lead guitar. And sitting beside him is Jim Imagawa on drums. Shortly after this early lineup broke up, one of the members got in big trouble. Bass player Jerry Hanna, who was always concerned about pollution and the environment, sometimes he was called nature punk, he got involved with some political activists. They called themselves Direct Action, and this eco-terrorist group was into sabotage against symbolic targets that they considered environmentally harmful. They bombed the Lytton plant near Toronto. They blew up a hydroelectric substation on Vancouver Island. Finally, in 1983, the police arrested 5 of the group, Direct Action, on the road near Squamish, BC. So they became known in the media as the Squamish Five. Jerry Hanna was sentenced to 10 years in jail. However, he was released early. Jerry Hanna served 5 years in Matsqui prison, and while he was in jail, he released this cassette-only limited edition solo album called Songs from Underground, a semi-acoustic folky album that's nice. And in 1995, long after his release from prison, Jerry Hanna and Brian Goebel reformed the old dormant band, and the Subhumans were back in action. In 2005, original lead guitarist Mike Graham rejoined the band. The Subhumans were the stuff of legend. Talk about street cred. This band has a story that's worthy of a book or a movie. Watch Bloodied But Unbowed by Suzanne Tabata for a bit of a hint of that. And these old photos by Vancouver rock and roll photographer Bev Davies tell some of the story. Look at these live shots. Authentic punk atmosphere. And Vancouver groups like the Subhumans fiercely expressed themselves against a wall of restrictions and indifference and lack of media support. And I guess that makes the Subhumans story a truly Canadian story.
Running high, what's out in the open? You know it's too late, and you're wasting all your time. Very soon there will be nowhere left to hide. Don't be surprised if they kicked on your door and chewed your life apart. It's nothing new, it's happened before, and nothing's gonna stop it when it's done. Running high, what's on in the open? You know it's too late, and you're wasting all your time. There's nowhere you can go now. Running high, what's on in the open? You know it's too late, and you're wasting all your time. Right for me. I don't fit the big picture. I don't fit the big picture. The big structure has been trying to get me. They've been trying to make me to help me find my way. Fill all these forms for us. Be your best for us. 'Cause all we want from you is to tell you what to do. I don't fit the big picture. I don't fit the big picture. I don't wanna play that game. I don't wanna be that slave.
Rockinitis.
I wanna go to heaven, but I've been told the Rockinitis has gotten my soul. Been rocking and rolling till the break of dawn. Man, I wonder if my baby is still at home.